Hey, Extremely Athletic family, welcome back to week 9 of the Extremely Athletic Mentality series. For those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Lisedi, and I am here today, guys, not only to share what fitness means physically, but what it means mentally. You are deep diving, if you've been keeping up with the series, into the mind of an extreme athlete. It's not all just about lifting weights and looking lean and jacked. It's about having the right mindset to approach your transformation journey in wanting to be physically fit. Now, this week's word of the week is, drumroll please, accountability. Oftentimes, a lot of us run away from accountability. The way I would define it is, you know, it's the obligation to take responsibility for not only your words, but your actions and your decisions too. But not only those three, the consequences of everything that follows after you've made that choice. And we oftentimes try to deflect, oh, it was this person's fault. It was my emotional hurt from when I was 6 years old that led me to making that decision. No, own it, embrace it, because it is up to you to take accountability. No one's going to take it for you. And what I love about accountability, guys, is it applies to everybody. It applies to your personal trainer, it applies to you, it applies to, politicians, it applies to your parents. Everybody can take accountability for what they've done. But the question is, do you? Do you take accountability for the times where you lacked, for the times where you made a mistake? I am on a journey of, taking personal accountability for every single decision, action. Yes, I'm late, but yes, there was traffic, but I could have left earlier. And so that's on me. It's not on the traffic jam that's happening for 15 minutes of my journey. It's me not leaving 15 minutes before, or making sure that my day was organized 15 minutes before so that I could be here on time. It's not up to the circumstance, it's up to me. And so, with that being said, guys, let's dive straight into our exercises of the week. And so, guys, because we're speaking everything extremely athletic, yes, the mindset is good, but I still want to give you guys the best exercises that have gotten me along my journey to being an extreme athlete. And so, over the course of the 9 weeks, we've been doing 3 exercises to try out at home and 3 exercises to try out in the gym. But now, before I get into the gym exercises, the home exercises are RDLs, lunges, as well as rows. Now, if you kept up with the 90-day challenge, RDLs and rows were, somewhere in the mix there. And I honestly think that, guys, these are such functional exercises that they can be used in all spheres of athletic performance. If you're a swimmer, you're going to need a nice, good, and strong back. If you're a hockey player, you're going to need a strong lower back, but you're also going to need, good hamstrings. If you're a runner, you're going to need strong hamstrings and a good back. And guess what? You don't have to pay for anything. No membership. You can do this in the comfort of your own home. Guys, welcome back. Welcome back. We're doing home workouts this week. And so I don't want to ramble on too much, but I just want to, do all the exercises back to back to back and not stop and record. And, it's a lot of stuff, or it's a lot of admin that doesn't need to be done. So the first exercise for this week that we're going to do is just the lunge. So you step forward, you form a 90-degree angle with your one leg and a 90-degree angle with your other. Your knees should not touch the ground. Very important. That's just working your single leg strength, and you come back up, you change the leg, and we'll go for 10, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Try and get your knee as low as possible to the ground without touching the ground. You should really feel a stretch in your quads. This exercise is really good for just leg width, and growth. So When you lunge, you're almost working a bit of your hamstrings too, but you're also really stabilizing your knees and giving your quads that good strength and foundational strength. That's so important. And now, even just without weights, my quads are already so pumped. And then we're going to do the second exercise, which is RDLs. And RDLs are basically just a hamstring stretch exercise, which is really good, also known as a hinge movement for, hamstring growth and strength, just to, tear the muscle fibers a bit. But yeah, it's very simple. You can grab something heavy around the house. What could we use? Even just like your study desk or something, and you just slowly release your hips backwards. You should feel it. I'm gonna drop right about there, just in your lower hamstring. And then when you get up, we squeeze our glutes at the top. That's one. That's two. That's three. That's four. Notice how it's just my hips that are moving, nothing else. That's five. Six. My knees are kind of locked, but they just bend slightly. That's seven. Eight. Nine. 10. We'll do one more. And so, yeah, that's it for RDLs. Very good hamstring exercise. Really good for activating the glutes as well. I'm sure you noticed I'm just so used to like squeezing my glutes at the top that I didn't even emphasize it that much. It's literally just a hinge and then squeeze. Hinge, squeeze. That's how we really get nice, strong hamstrings and glutes. Another way is a hip thrust, but that's not one of the exercises. So we'll move right along into bent over rows. So this is a good mid back and upper back exercise. If you watch the 90-day challenge, this was right up there with the exercises. I think we did it from like day 50 or so, but it's very simple. Just get into a position like so, where your back is straight, recline your shoulders slightly, and then you pull the weights to your gut. That's one. That's two. That's three. Four. Five. You want to squeeze at the top, making sure that you're engaging your back, engaging your lats, your mid back, just giving you that real good concentration. It's five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. And that's it for this week's exercise of the week, guys. Try them out for yourself. Let me know how you guys feel. And keep going and keep growing, because Extremely Athletic cares about you. And so, after you guys have checked out the home workouts, I give you guys 3 workouts to do in the gym. Now, the first one I'm about to mention is one of my personal favorites. I've been doing this since I was about 15, 16 years old, and it is the box jump. Now, this is simply getting your feet from the ground to an elevated platform. And this exercise you can do in the gym, because almost all the gyms that I go to have these box platforms that you can sit out nicely and just work on your explosiveness. It just gives you that little bit more responsiveness if you're a runner and you need, that quick burst of speed. That's where this exercise really helps you. If you play indoor soccer, if you're a hockey player, if you're a basketball player, and even more so if you're a basketball player, stay tuned, because this exercise is going to help you with that vertical, explosive movements. And I just want to say the next exercise, or the next 2 exercises, if you checked last week's episode, I mentioned this one, Bulgarian split squats. And yeah, I didn't stutter this time because it really humbled me last week. So, I learned my lesson, and now we're going into it with a fresh new mindset of conquering the exercise. And Bulgarian split squats, guys, wow. Check out last week's episode. I did them at home without weights. This week, we're doing them with weights, and we're going to do them in the gym, and we're going to show you guys how this exercise can almost bring you to tears. But the next exercise, I know everybody runs away from this, and so do I sometimes. I'm not ashamed to say that this exercise has humbled me many, many, many times. And that is the deadlift. Now, Everybody says, why do you do deadlifts? It's such a difficult exercise. Exactly. It's not meant to be easy. And so with deadlifts, guys, it's so important that you understand that this exercise works every or almost every muscle in your body, from your calves to your hamstrings to your quads to your glutes to your lower back to your mid back to your shoulders, your forearms, your biceps, your triceps. This exercise does it all, but it can also really lead to bad injuries, guys. So what I would advise, start light and keep building progressively. I like to use the term progressive overload, and just constantly add a 5, a 2.5, a 10, and then you gradually get to the goal that you've set for yourself. And so with that being said, guys, check out this week's exercises. What's up, Extremely Athletic family? Today we are doing one of the exercises of the week. And today's exercise that I'll be walking you guys through is the box jump. Now, this is the box. You've got to get your feet from down there right up to here and stand as tall as you possibly can once you get here. Because it doesn't help that you can get your feet here, but you crunched up in a little ball. This exercise really helps with, explosiveness. If you're a footballer, if you're a basketball player, that quick burst of speed that you need comes from exercises like this. We call them plyometrics. So you just need to work out how high you can jump. For basketball players, you obviously need a good vertical. So this exercise is prime for you. So yeah, let me just walk you guys through it. We're gonna start from this position right here, about a meter from the box. We're going to get into a squat position and we're going to jump as high as we can. And remember I said we want to stand tall so that we know we made the jump. So that's one. That's two. I'm going to do about three of these. I normally do about 10, but for illustration purposes, I'll do three. And yeah, guys, let's keep going. Let's keep growing. Week stay tuned. Exercises in the gym. And this week's gym exercise of the day, well, there's two of them today, is the deadlift. Now, this is not everybody's favorite, but it's one of the most crucial exercises of all athletic performance. It just works so many muscles in the body at one time. Um, but yeah, enough of me talking. I've got 100 kgs loaded on here. So it's 40 on either side plus the bar, which is an Olympic bar, which is 20. And yeah, I've got the plates here just so that the weights don't roll forward. And yeah, let's get into it. I would advise that you take your shoes off so that you've got a good firm base and your strength is really rooted in your heels. And yeah, guys, we're gonna go for about 6 here. It is quite a heavy lift, so you don't want to overexert yourself. So all you want to do is you want to get into this position right here, almost into like a squat position, and keeping your back as straight as you can. And you're just lifting up, driving up with your back still straight, and slowly bringing it down. That's one. That's two. That's three. That's four. That's five. And that is number six. Whew. Yeah, very taxing exercise. Be careful not to go heavy. I've been doing this for a while, so I know what my limits are. I know that 6 reps is just enough for me, because this exercise could really lead to injuries, guys. So just be careful and work smart and work hard. Now we are doing the Bulgarian split squat, but this time with weights, and it's actually gonna hurt. So I'm gonna do 6 reps on each side. This is a single leg compound lift, so also known as a unilateral movement. So we're just balancing out the strength in our legs. So you want to rest your one leg behind or on the bench. You want to get a good distance. You want to come all the way down, really feeling that stretch in your quad. Up. That's one. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4. 5. 6. Oh. Now you switch legs. This is the very tricky part, just trying to get your balance. So we're gonna go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more. Yeah. Everybody knows now, if you've been watching the past 8 weeks, this segment has really just touched me a little bit more. And because, it takes me back to times when I've actually read these books. And now I give you guys a book recommendation every week of the book that I have read. And this week's recommendation is a very powerful book. It had a very, very, very large impact on the man that I am now. And it is The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And I just want to state the four agreements before I get deeper into the book. Number 1, be impeccable with your word. That means without flaw. Number 2, don't take anything personally. Number 3, don't make assumptions. And number 4, always do your best. Now, if we're going to dive a little deeper into what these agreements really mean, being impeccable with your word just simply means being honest, being open, keeping the promises that you make to yourself, because ultimately those are the promises that matter. Those are the promises that only matter. If you are honest with yourself and you can keep those promises that you make to yourself, you can keep a promise you make to the next person. And it starts with simply saying, you know what, I've set my alarm for 7 a.m. every morning, and I'm going to wake up at 7 a.m. It's as simple as that. I've been guilty of this. I've been having late nights working, so I've maybe snoozed a bit there. And I'll take accountability. Why? Because I'm working towards something greater. And I understand that. I haven't been impeccable to my word in that regard, but I've been impeccable to my word in giving myself the results that I want to see. And so I'm happy with that. I can maybe sacrifice a bit of sleep here for a greater result that's going to come in the long run. And the next one, it really caught me by surprise when I read it in the book. Don't take anything personally. We don't know what the next person is going through. We don't know what anybody's going through. And so if they lash out at you, that could be something wrong with them. Not necessarily to say that you did something wrong, but it could be because you had said something that triggered something, but we don't assume. And that leads me right into my next point of don't make assumptions. As good as someone may appear to be, don't just jump the gun and be like, oh, I assume that you are going to do X, Y, and Z. Don't do that. Don't ever put that kind of pressure that you are, absorbing from yourself and putting that on someone else just by making an assumption. And now I've stopped trying to do that and saying that, people do the wrong thing because they hurt. No, I have no room to say why people do the wrong thing. But what I can do is I can withdraw any assumptions. I don't have to take whatever they say personally. And now this leads me into the best one of all. Always do your best. And this just speaks volumes for what Extremely Athletic is always about. I always preach, always believe in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, how do you expect anybody to believe in you? And when you're always doing your best, what do you have to believe in yourself? You have every right to believe in yourself. You have every reason to know why you are doing what you're doing. And I say this, guys, with all the respect, always, always, always do your best. So, guys, if you have read The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, leave your insights here with the hashtag Extremely Athletic Reads. And yeah, guys, I'd really like to know if you have read this book, how it's impacted you, and how you can maybe share some knowledge with the next person. Moving right along to a segment that is so important that I just always have to save the best for last. And that is the mentality segment. Now we get a deep dive of what makes me an extreme athlete and how I apply this word of the week to myself. Now, when I say accountability, guys, I really mean using it as a form of empowerment and not discouragement. And when I say this, guys, take accountability for your actions and let that empower you. Let that be like, oh my gosh, yes, I actually did something wrong. And I take the power back by apologizing, and I just store it in myself to say, you know what, I made a difficult choice. I made a difficult decision because I know I actually made the mature decision to say, listen, I was wrong. I apologize, and it won't happen again. Even if it does, I will put my hand up and say, listen, I messed up. This is something I've been working on with myself for, I don't know, for like 3 years now, 4 years now, since I started going to therapy. I have worked on not blaming my parents for anything anymore. You know, like I used to have a really bad attitude. I used to talk to people horribly, and I'd be like, oh, but my dad just always hurt me, or, you know, I didn't have the best relationship with my mom. That's why I would always just, you know, be an angry kid. But then I decided, you know what, it's up to me to take, you know, the reins. It's up to me to choose to be better. It's up to me to want more for myself. I can't keep blaming the next person. Oh, my brother made me upset, so I'm gonna go and curse the next person. No. I know now that I have the power in my actions. Okay, listen, dude, I know I swore at you and I apologize, and that was so uncalled for. And, you know, maybe we can move forward from this. I don't have to blame it on anything that you said that triggered me. No. I know what I said was wrong. And I just want to use an example outside of myself that I've heard far too many times is when someone does you wrong on a night out. Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't remember what happened. I was drunk. Where is the accountability there? Okay, cool, fair enough. You're blaming the alcohol. Yes, the alcohol is bad for existing. All good. The next point I want to make is who decided to intake that alcohol? Was it your emotional hurt from when you were 6? Was it your difficult situation that's going on at home right now? Or was it you, the person that's living in the right now, in the consequence of your action, your choice, and your decision? It's entirely up to you. Take accountability, but use it to empower you. Yes, I was drunk. Oh, I actually made a really big mistake. Maybe I shouldn't get that drunk again or that much more wasted again because I can't control myself when I get to that level. So I'll just dial it down and relax and have 3 instead of 8. Use it to empower you. Don't use it as a weapon, as a coping mechanism. Or don't use it as discouragement. I meant to say, my apologies. Don't use it as something, oh, I messed up. I was so drunk. I really hate myself for that. No, you're a human being. You make mistakes. You're going to live a life that you're going to need to learn through practical experiences. And with that being said, guys, I really hope everybody takes accountability this week. It's not your boss's fault. It's not my fault. It's your fault. And I tell myself all the time, it's my fault. I carry that with me every single day. But with that being said, guys, we'll check you next week. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video with your friends, and we'll catch up soon.